Now, Larry, this next one makes me sad, man. I don't know if they're being genuine. I think they are. But if this is the conclusion of the reign, this sucks. Donkey balls. But it may just be a little cry for help. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, man. You know, we're talking about, man, you know. Oh, man. Your boy, y'all see the banner, y'all see the background. It's your boy Terrence Howard, and this is coming from Entertainment Weekly, ET, for the fourth topic of the day. Terrence Howard plans to retire, says he's given the very best as an actor, and they have the exclusive. Now, before we get started, y'all, anything that this man has coming out with in the future, we got to support it. Show him that we love Terrence Howard. If we do, we're going to talk about it because I don't want him to retire. But let's see what this man says. Let's see what this man says after I click out all these ads. Terrence Howard is ready to pass the torch to the next generation of young Hollywood actors. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Larry, we're going to talk about it. This does not make sense to me. This is just stupid talk, but we're going to talk about it. As far as he's concerned, the end is here for the Academy Award nominated actor. Doing the red carpet appearance for the Peacock series, The Best Man Final Chapters, that drops later this month at Hollywood Athletic Club in Los Angeles, the 53-year young old actor divulged to ET's Kevin Frazier while he's calling it a career. And this time's for real. But if it all sounds familiar, it's because fans will recall Howard made similar statements in 2019 as the final season of Empire neared. At the time, Howard told ET he's running away quickly as possible when the Fox hit series ended. Since then, Howard has appeared in numerous projects, including the Best Man series streaming December 22nd on Peacock. This time around, Howard is adamant he's walking away from Hollywood for good. This is the end for me. This is the end for me. I don't know if it's the end for the rest of them. He said, I retired 2 years ago for the most part. I was done. I had Sidney Poitier 10 years ago. Does he want to do any more work? And he said, why would I spend my last 10 years doing an impersonation of myself? And that's what I've gotten to. He continued, I've gotten to the point to where now I've given the very best that I have as an actor. Now I'm watching other new talent come around, and I don't want to do an impersonation of myself. Howard doubled down when asked if he's ready to hand over the reins. Yes, there's some better actors out there that can do things that I was never able to do, he said. So I want to applaud them. I want to be excited about what they do. Howard's story career includes 2006 Oscar nomination Best Actor for The Hustle and Flow. He made his debut in 92 as Jackie Jackson in The Jacksons An American Dream. He go on one of the best movies of all time. He goes on to earn roles for All My Children and in films such as Mr. Holland's Opus, Dead Presidents, Who's the Man, Four Brothers, and more recently he earned accolades for playing Lucius Lyon, on Empire, which ended after 6 seasons in 2020. Howard also dabbled a bit in Marvel Universe when he took the role of James Rhodey Rhodes in the first Iron Man film, which also starred Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow. Howard was ultimately replaced by Don Cheadle in the Iron Man franchise following a salary dispute. In the 2013 interview on Watch What Happened Live, Howard got candid about how all transpired while taking a thinly veiled jab at Downey Jr. And I remember this. This is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but who gives a F? Howard said at the time, it turns out that the person that I helped become Iron Man when it was time to re-up for a second one took the money that was supposed to go to me and pushed me out. Fast forward to now, Howard reflected on his Iron Man role, referring to projects as a big dance and whose party ends with Disney took over the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the 09 acquisition. Yeah, well, Iron Man was a big dance, he said. It was great until Disney took over. Once Disney took over, they started looking after money. You know, the very first thing they did was to come in and shook everyone down, and they shook Gwyneth. Then they tried to shake my career down, and my agent said, F you, and hung up. He continued, it used to be about creativity, but when we first stepped on that set, Robert had so much to prove. I had a lot to prove. Gwyneth had a lot to prove. And I think we did it. We made our statements, and now it's like, let's see where the universe goes to. In the limited series, the best man reprised his role as Quentin for the final installment after he's been through. Young Quentin has some sage advice for a young President Howard. I would tell me to slow down. I would say it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it, and more than likely it will not happen. He said, you're not going to change the mind. Stay in your lane, Stop trying to make it better for everyone else to dance. He continued, I spent a lot of energy hurting myself trying to open the door for others who quickly slammed the door after they got in. Look after yourself and defend your integrity. If somebody comes after your name, attack them with everything you've got. Defend your name. That's the one thing I would tell myself. Larry, this is sad right here. It breaks my heart. And again, we'll see him this December 22nd for the Best Man final chapters. But how are you feeling about all this, man? Do you think that he should hang it up as the 53-year-old Oscar-nominated performer? Or you think he still has a few decades left under his belt to pop up on the big and small screen?
I mean, I feel like to be honest with you, man, I feel like it's of no consequence to me. I don't, he's one of those actors I don't check for at all. I don't see him as a particularly talented or skilled actor. He's somehow managed to have a long career, and I applaud him for that. I'm not exactly sure how sometimes, but God bless him for it, man. Dude, he's done what he's doing. I think some of it is now he's been in the game for a long time. He's a bit older. He's like, hey, he probably feels like he deserves to get more money, more roles, better roles, and he's not getting the offers that he wants. And he's probably just like, if I'm not going to get what I want, I'm just going to be out. And okay, I get it. If that's where you want to go, be out. Retire if that's what you want to do. I mean, maybe after he's gone for a few years, maybe he'll dip out and he'll be gone for 4 or 5 years, and maybe he can come back and reinvent himself as something new. I don't know. Part of the problem is I think he feels like he deserves more, but I don't think he's skilled enough to get that more. I think he wants more, but he needs to be a better actor.
Well, my fault. I meant to cut you off.
No, if this were Don Cheadle, I would feel Don Cheadle. I'd be like, Don Cheadle can put it down. This dude can act his butt off. But Terrence Howard,
I got you. Well, my thing is, since you brought up Don Cheadle, I still would prefer to have Terrence Howard as Rhodey, War Machine, than Don Cheadle.
Really?
Yes, by far. It was so much more energy to that role. Now, coming from him. Now, that's not necessarily Don Cheadle's fault because they haven't given him much to work with, in my opinion. But he was a much better Rhodey, War Machine, to me. And another thing is, if you say that he feels that he deserves more, I mean, what person doesn't if they feel that they're worth something? It's not like he's asking for leads and he wants to be in big blockbusters and give me all the money. I think he may just want may just want consistent work or a job or something. And he's also frustrated because I'm Team Terrence over here as far as how Robert Downey Jr. allegedly handled the situation. I think that's effed up. And his career never really picked up since then. It always went downhill. When Iron Man came out, Terrence Howard, I think, was one of the leading people in Hollywood, especially for Black people, but he was blackballed. So I would hate for him to go out this way. That's why I have some type of empathy or sympathy for him. I guess you disagree.
Part of me thinks this is a business. You have to make good decisions. And one of the decisions that you should not do is get up there and speak poorly publicly about your coworkers and your friends. There's certain things you just don't do like that. Keep that behind closed doors.
Even if they stab you, even if they allegedly stab you behind the back and in the back.
Sometimes I want to say, especially if they stab you in the back, sometimes you have to be smarter. You have to figure out a way. You have to figure out a work around that. Figure out a way to let them, when they stab you in the back, they say, thank you for giving me the knife. Pull it out and then cut their throat with it. Something else. But if all you're going to do is if you just talk bad about them, you're going to end up in a position like he ended up in, where he's not working. He's not getting the roles he wants to get. He's up there trying to blame other people for getting blackballed where he might have, but I mean, here's the thing: if he really wants to, because Hollywood will put all that crap aside if you can make them money. They don't care what you've done if you can make them money. And so really what he should be doing, instead of talking about he's going to retire, he should say, you know what? I'm going to slow down and I'm going to be very selective about my projects. And he should just spend like a full year doing nothing but reading just indie scripts, just picking up some, just to say, just don't send me any major studio crap. Just send me indie scripts and find himself a really, really good, find himself a Monsters Ball type script. Something that's going to be excellent, that's going to allow you to really sink your teeth in. It's something that will, a role that will fit you. Don't find some role that you need such great acting chops, only Denzel's going to be able to pull it off. Find something that's going to work for you, that can really let you shine, and then let Hollywood see what you can do. And then they'll welcome him back and say, okay, we see, maybe we just didn't put you in the right roles. Maybe we need to give you some great movies. We just need to pick the right ones for you.
I got you. We got Dane C. Super chat. Thank you so much, Dan. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yes! Yes! It's sad Terrance just caught his break in Empire. Right.
I don't think he caught his break in Empire. I mean, that's the tail end of his career.
Well, thank you, Dane C, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And Larry. And your favorite, Z, agrees with you. So that's what's up right there. And, you know, this doesn't make sense to me, though. In the beginning, he says is ready to pass the torch to the next young generation of Hollywood actors. Also, I had a friend of mine that used to say this back when I was in college, like, oh, this person is getting old. They can't act anymore. That doesn't make sense. When you're acting, you're playing a role of people, and people get old. So I don't care if you're 99, you can be cast in a movie as a 99-year-old person, you know, like, and still getting work. I just don't. Why do people think that you have to be young to be an actor? Like,
because we live in a youth obsessed society.
But so old people shouldn't ever be in movies anymore. Like,
no, old people can be in movies just fine. There's always old people in movies, but generally old people are not the leads in a lot of these movies. Now, that's not all of them. Some of them are, but we live in a youth obsessed society. So unless you look young, you could be older. You could be 55 years old and look like you're 35 years old and do just fine. But if you're 55 years old and you look like you're 55 years old, you're going to have a much more limited range of roles that are going to be offered to you.
Morgan Freeman is old, and he plays the roles of the age he looks. And everybody can do that, whether you're 17 or you're 77.
Right. So, but Morgan Freeman is a absolutely fantastic actor.
I'm just saying, my point is that there's roles for any age, whether you're an infant or you're 102. You know, there's always a role for something. You may not be the lead or whatever, but there's always a role in any movie or any television show for an older person.
Yeah, but there's a difference if you want to just play a role, if you just want that role, if you just want to be a working actor, sure, you can find roles. I'm sure he's not going to have any trouble finding roles if he just wants to be a working actor. But it sounds to me like he wants to be a star. He sounds to me like he wants to be a franchise player. And except he's not, he's not Jordan. That's just what it is. He's not he doesn't have franchise player skills, but he wants to be a franchise player. And being a franchise player, it's, having franchise player skills is not just what you can do on the court. It's also how you conduct yourself everywhere. And he's not someone that apparently people embrace like that. He doesn't excite people. He doesn't make people be like, oh, that's Terrence Howard. I don't think people get excited about him like that.
I got you. That makes sense. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you let us know what you think about this. Your boy Terrence Howard. Are you sad and depressed that he's retiring as an actor? Do you want to see him continue on? I do. Also, how did you feel about him as a War Machine? I'm dying to know. We all are. Hopefully, you want him to come back and we can see him fulfill more roles. But
I like him to do? I would like him to go take some acting classes, and I would like for him to go work on Broadway for a couple of years and really get his acting chops up, and then come back with a real just doozy, just a real banger of a role that makes people be like, oh, damn, this dude's legit. I would love for that.
And if you're watching this video live on the replay, that link is in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure.